of targeting KaKAO again with the Lee Sin. This guy
should be Lee's as well now.
Had some really good performances on these early game junglers. Can't snowball there.
Now we know Xerxe likes to play his Rengar if he can get it as a first pick. Now with this double jungle ban, it would make sense, but obviously KaKAO can still then pick up the Graves. It's just not been a KaKAO pick. Like, he's been so good on Elise and Lee Sin, where he could be extremely impactful in the early game.
And I think it's also due to his laners. Because if you look at the strength, when has PowerOfEvil had the best games? It's when KaKAO can gank for him or free him up and then roam together to the side lanes and put the pressure. But if you look at the successful Graves players in Europe, think of Trick. His lanes are so self-sufficient that he can just power farm and become a monster. But in the time that it takes for KaKAO to get to that point on the Graves, honestly, his lanes were falling behind already.
Well, KaKAO's not going to have to worry about the Graves this game because it's going to be in Xerxe's hands. He takes that one, locking it in. We'll see what Misfits answer with.
And if you look at the last game, if the lanes perform somewhat similar, obviously mainly due to the draft, then the Graves pick does make sense for Xerxe.
100%. So with LeBlanc Syndra being taken away, Orianna goes up in priority, and that's going to be the blind pick for PowerOfEvil. Now, I want to see Talon against this one. An issue with the Talon, though, is you already have a physical damage dealer in the Graves, and it means you have to play Rumble top then.
Yep.
Oh, is that a Rumble top? Well, we got it so far. There's also Vladimir.
Okay.
It's okay, I'll take it.
Yeah, I was going to say, if you wanted to talk about a Talon...
It almost lined up.
But that's kind of up Exile's alley. I mean, these two stylistically, like, Exile's the guy that came from solo queue, wanted to go in 100% of the time. He was the Yasuo main.
And I feel Vladimir into Orianna is kind of equivalent of picking Vayne into Ezreal Kench. It's like, you want this slow kind of scaling mage that does like okay pressure early, but I'm just gonna pick a slow scaling mage as well and then really aim for these late game bloody team fights.
This is pretty good for Misfits, getting the Fizz into the Rumble top lane. Yeah. Rumble will push early.
Also really good. This Rumble can't go to the jungle anymore, so we guarantee that it's top lane. Also Fizz on the side lane later, if Vladimir is ever elected to match it, still does super well against that matchup.
Yeah, that's the thing. Fizz is such a powerful late game champion because he will build just one damage item in Trinity Force and he can then just go tank and still have enough damage to kill your carries, which is the weird and wonderful thing about Fizz late game.
Yeah, no, I wish Orianna's support actually existed, because then the Fizz would have been a genius flex into the mid lane matchup. I'm
pretty happy it doesn't exist.
Yeah, it's true.
It's kind of boring support as well. Guys, wait for my level 6. And then I'm not even useful because it's just a little shockwave that does no damage.
I mean, it's PowerOfEvil's hands that are always
It's good for Misfits. I think this draft so far is much better for Misfits, especially with them getting a better matchup top for Alphari late on in the game. KaKAO gets Rengar, which has been a 50-50 pick for him. He's had a few good games, especially against Splice, but also had a lot of games where we didn't really see him too much. But that's kind of the thing for KaKAO. He will get banned out.
All right, second ban phase, supports agree. Do you like range supports? No, not really.
Ban
you? No, let's both ban them out.
Misfits don't ban on their last. One. Interesting.
Never know if it's on purpose.
It rarely has been, though.
Rarely has been. If you can see the coach hit the player, then it was definitely not on purpose.
When it comes to Misfits, though, you have to think, I mean, there's so much discussion going on with Hussein and the players that's one of those cases where you might think it would be the case. And now, Kallista's banned out by Unicorns for their final.
I think it's a good ban. Comfort pick for Hansama down the bottom lane as a potential last pick. Picking support is something we see very often here. Then you save the AD carry. That's at least a Fnatic strategy. But there's also a high chance you just take the safest AD carry, like an Ashe right now, and save that potential last pick support. But they're going to keep it for Hansama. And I want to say, he's a Draven, man.
Yeah.
It is a potential last pick.
Draven player. This Lulu, it's actually quite, from an analyst point of view, it's quite sad to see how low this pick falls in priority in Europe. If you look at like LCK, that's like, I mean, first pick permaban. Like, this champion is so broken in laning phase if you abuse it in team fights.
I had a guy ask me on Reddit, you know, why does Europe not like Lulu? And I was kind of like,
I don't know. Why don't they
That's
like
actually
Lulu?
a really good question. It's like, why not? But one of the reasons is things like Thresh can get picked into it, and there's a lot of Thresh support players in Europe.
But you have to be very specific how to win that matchup, because if you mess up, you will eat a lot of nasty trades.
Those are some of the reasons I'm getting.
Speaking out of experience.
They are afraid of the potential Thresh players here in our region, and we have, again, as I said, a lot of these supports. It's kind of what you learn in solo queue if you're mechanically very gifted. Other things like Zyra, but she's banned in this game. So
give me the KaKAO. Surprise. It's not gonna happen, but it's actually a lane that's playing a lot in kind of high elo in the Master Challenger eras, where if you are in an uncoordinated game, Lulu KaKAO will wreck kids problem is there's too much dive on the side of the Unicorns.
It is, but this lane is not so strong for the Unicorns a lot against double range on the side of Misfits, and I think this is good.
Yeah.
Getting like a real lane bully in here should give Misfits a lot of control on the bottom side. They didn't have a scaling advantage on top side.
And more importantly, there's also no ganking jungler. This Graves, he can show up with damage.
He wants CC in the lane first.
Yeah, and that's the Braum, and it's conditional, so I think it's almost better for Hylissang to maybe even just play Exhaust, to just lock them down a bit more.
I mean, it's going to be very hard for Xerxe to gank mid. It's going to be hard to gank top as well. Like, the Vladimir and the Rumble are going to offer damage, but again, not a whole lot of setup for him. Fizz obviously can jump away pretty easily.
But in the Rengar versus Graves matchup, it's all about invading enemy jungle, because Rengar's, very few Rengars have done anything else than the Korean clear. Like the triple camp on one side base, and then you lose half your jungle, and that could be a pressure point. If KaKAO actually ends up starting topside jungle, it could be very interesting if Xerxe can take that away and then put pressure bot.
Well, can be hard, obviously, for Xerxe to come all the way down and take the camp if his bot lane is getting pushed in to kind of block away.
Yeah, or they can't push anymore because Xerxe is in the jungle. You know,
it's always a dance. It's always a dance.
I mean, there's a lot of hypotheticals there, gentlemen. Like, it's still going to be hard. Unicorns looked like that draft for Misfits was looking a lot better in game number 2. We'll see if it is enough to come up with the win. And
yeah,
in all honesty, I mean, Unicorns are up 1, but like there were chances to turn it around.
It should be a much better early game for Misfits here. And if they do not fall 7K behind, let's see what kind of game we get.
All right, you heard from us. We want to hear from you. Hop on Twitter and tweet hashtag UOL win if you believe the Unicorns love are going to make this 2-0 heading into game 3, or if the Misfits are going to fire back. Let's see if they can do it. Hashtag MSF win. Game 2's loading up right now, and well, I have every reason to believe it's going to be as bloody as the first. We'll see how long it goes as we load up onto Summoner's Rift Game 2 in this best of 5. Always a tense moment.
I like the music there.
Yeah, it's good.
I was ready for the claps. I don't speak unless somebody claps for me.
All right.
And now we can go.
Do you want me to cast, or?
Yeah.
Just give me golf claps.
I'll give you a few claps here and there.
I thought you only speak when you get clapped.
Ooh.
Solo queue.
Then I would speak more than I would like to.
Oh, you. A vocal member of the community, man. Mitch. So is some of these players on the Rift. A lot of our European pros, they do like to voice their opinion. It's
banter.
From time to time. It's always banter, of course. It's never serious.
Yep, always worrying about my safety.
Let's see. I don't think you have to anymore, by the way. I think you're going to be fine in this esports environment. So, top lane matchup is super interesting with the
No,
Fizz
bot lane matchups.
No. Top lane matchup, guys, is actually very interesting because early on, Rumble will...
Notice how there's nobody mid lane matchup?
Guys, top lane matchup.
Okay, top lane. Talk about top lane.
Go for it, Deficio.
So, Rumble will push in the Fizz early, but it's very easy to farm on the tower for Alphari because of his W, to use that to kind of get another auto off and get these minions. And then what happens very often is, if the Rumble overheats, especially after level 6, Fizz gets an opening to all in. And then suddenly, Alphari can actually win the matchup. He's not running Flash.
Ooh.
This means look for the jungler early as well, because you can go top lane and try and punish the Fizz.
Yeah, but they're going to look for the jungler. Look where they're standing. They're going for a delayed Raptor invade, because KaKAO gets stacks on the blast cone, as usual.
Yeah, but he's going to find...
oh, baby! Hello! All of a sudden, invade squad comes in. And those Raptors are no longer KaKAO's.
Ooh, now he's forced into the other side of the jungle.
And this is where a level 1 warding for some teams, they've gone a little bit lazy.
Yeah.
Because it's not often we see these big invades, so you don't always just fully fill up the river with wards to spot this. There were a lot of wards available for Misfits, 3 actually on their side, and they could have prevented some of this.
Yeah, now Xerxe also plays around his bot lane being pushed in all the time, potentially, because he definitely takes control of the left side of the map, and then he can put pressure where? In the top side of the map.
Exactly. No flash for Alphari, so he needs to respect a potential Graves showing up behind him. Meaning, obviously, he will surrender some of the push over to Chachi, which would most likely have happened anyway, but just makes it a little bit scarier to be a no-flash Fizz. KaKAO now, he's in trouble because Graves can just pass straight down to his own red buff, and then KaKAO will not get anything else than a blue buff on his side.
And this is really good pressure right here for Xerxe, because he could technically show up in the top lane for a level 2 gank on Fizz. This guy was playing passive. Now he goes back down. He still isn't really spotted. I haven't seen any pings. He may just go Raptors into Scuttle Crab and then finish the clear, and that's exactly what the Graves wants. He wants to power farm to this jungle.
Oh yeah, this could be a problem for more than just the jungler on the Misfits side, and he's real low trying to take off that blue. Finally finishes it, and the level disparity isn't there just yet, but you can see the experience still creeping up for Xerxe as he takes out his own red. So,
hey, Xerxe, you lost a stack on his potion. That's unheard of for Graves players. That's how ludicrous. Yeah, he's done. What's happening?
So KaKAO only has one camp he can actually take, and that is the Crux on top side, and then he can go do Rift Scuttler, but...
It's a great camp, though.
It is. Yeah, you love the Crux. So is there anything on the Rengar Crux train?
No.
Spam your buttons and you will get it down effectively, but it actually means now with Xerxe, he has the entire top side still with blue buff, with 2 camps to take, and will give him good experience advantage. Chachi gets an award to actually find KaKAO on this exact camp, the only one that is left. And
Surprise, he's there.
Have full information over where this Rengar is.
Yeah, just like last game, they're able to track, you know, where the jungler is, but it's much more one-sided now with Unicorns. They're kind of holding all the cards. And Alphari, look at, he's trying to put 2 wards down just to make sure he's safe enough. Stop those ganks from Xerxe coming in. It's getting closer and closer to that level 6. Have a level advantage over KaKAO to start things off. And the only saving grace right now for Misfits is this bottom lane push.
Yeah, quick reality check here. Still 2 potions on Lucian. But down 12 CS. Obviously, if you can get all this 5, it's only down 7, but it's pretty hard. There's an execute right there. 2 stacks for Hylissang, helps with the sustain. Samux still okay at this point, but eventually they'll break.
KaKAO is just waiting for his Raptors to spawn, and then Xerxe, he's timing the spawn, so he's obviously showing up a level above with the red buff as well.
Can he outplay, though? That's a lot of burst from KaKAO. Flashes forward. He wants revenge. He wants to get his red buff back, and in comes power. That's it.
He holds the flash because he knows he'll get the dash reset eventually.
Mid lane as well. You can see how Exileh just wanted to shove the wave as fast as possible. Actually took a really bad trade because of it, but he wanted to just get the wave pushing so he can roam in with Xerxe to challenge KaKAO on the Raptors.
Oh dear. Gets that smite off. KaKAO, he's in trouble, but power's there. The defense saves his life for now. Hold on a second. They want to start the fights early. That's first blood for Exileh right on the pool, and now it is a 2v1 over. Exile's going down. Power gets 1. Can he get 2?
Oh my God!
Double kill from Power!
He got the blue buff! Oh my God, he got everything now.
He got everything against the Unicorns. Power. This guy knows the magic. He knows how to play against it. 2 kills right there. I love the dynamic from the Unicorns initially with Xerxe and Exileh going in. It's like brute forcing in, but then Power.
But PowerOfEvil was running out of mana, but then because Exileh killed KaKAO, then Exileh got the blue buff, which then handed it over to PowerOfEvil. I wonder if that gave him just enough mana for the last Q. So this is the fight. You can see very low on mana here for PowerOfEvil, low on HP for KaKAO. They're investing everything to kill him. Exileh gets the kill, so he has the blue buff, then PowerOfEvil will kill him. Notice the mana left. Let's see. He uses Q again. Almost no mana, but then he gets the mana quickly back from blue buff to E himself and then Q as well. Exileh really wished right now there was Graves who actually got that kill at first.
KaKAO's pretty happy with that. Man, I mean...
That was so huge for Misfits. Like, it looked so bad for KaKAO. He lost the first Raptor. He obviously got challenged on the second one. He was down. It looked like a good fight for Unicorns
He lost
as well.
his flash there too in that exchange, trying to protect his jungle. And then both mid laners, they were really showing how important it is to get the mid lane priority to defend these invades.
Yeah, we talked about mid lane matchup being a pretty hype one at the top of the day, and with PowerOfEvil playing up against his old team, well, it's the reason he laughed about Exileh being called the upgrade earlier on. He's showing up pretty big already.
And now we need to see how Hansama and IgNar want to play the bottom lane. They had a potential to freeze out Samux there, by the way, but they elected not to. Even though they're sitting on BF Sword versus Vampiric Scepter, there is a way in the world where you can actually freeze that and then poke out the Lucian, but they're going for a turret pressure style here. So Misfits trying to put pressure in the bottom lane, whereas Unicorns looking for a gank setup here with this control ward.
See if they can do it.
They know there's a control ward. They don't know there's a jungle next to it.
Alphari goes in, Alphari goes out, and there's the equalizer. No flash on the Fizz, but the fish is there, and the line, collateral damage, and Chachi finishes the job.
Alphari running no flash. Played aggressively at first, and then the gank shows up, and then there's no way out.
It's fire with fire there with the ignite. But it's not enough if you get ganked. Well timed though, forcing the Fizz E, and then landing the Rumble ultimate makes for such a great start.
But that Fizz E as well, the trickster here, it's because Alphari dives in without actually proper vision of where the enemy jungler is. And then he has to use trickster so early to just get out of the first trade. And then when the jungler obviously shows up, there's no way out.
It's some of these lazy trades, right?
Yeah, it was actually just a really greedy trade with no information and no jungler to support him, because KaKAO was level 5 doing his own camp. He wasn't ready to help. that is one of those moments as a top laner where you just kind of hate the fact you just took that little trade because you used your cooldowns and then you have no flash.
Yeah, it's the situations where 90% of the time you get away with a good trade. The 10% that the jungler is there, you lose your life. It's the same as level 1 warding. Like, this is greedy play from Alphari. He knows.
And he's been so good this split at not doing this. There was a control ward in that little river brush, so he had no information. And then he would normally not take these trades during the split. But sometimes on stage, I mean, maybe he feels like he needed to make something happen, but that was really not necessary.
Yeah, sometimes avoidable mistakes, they can punish you for sure, although it's still a very even game. That was just one answer back on Misfits, who had a brilliant start thanks to PowerOfEvil. Now Alphari says, all right, let's see you do that again.
Yeah, let's get rid of this one, because this is actually now when the matchup can start going in favor of Misfits up on top lane. Because you need a ganking jungler with this Fizz for some very easy all-ins on Rumble. He's not going to escape. You have level 6 on Rengar.
No flash.
No flash. You can land the fish, obviously from Alphari. So it gets much easier now to take these trades, and this is where Alphari can start taking over the game.
All right. Vizicsacsi's overheating. That's going to be the end of that trade for now, but he's still got the ignite. There's the fish. Is he going all in right now? One more shot. He dashes. There's the equalizer, but Xerxe, he's got the shield. It's just enough to save his life, and he's backing out.
Oh, IgNar taking a lot of damage.
Hold on a second. He has to get a wild growth onto himself as Xerxe came right out of the brushes. There were a lot of close shaves right here.
And this is exactly what we talked about top lane. Alphari getting that ulti, playing around, overheating rumbles. That mistake before definitely cost him a little bit. Not the end of the world. He's still at the point where he can win this game here for Misfits, at least win the top lane.
Yeah, because maybe Alphari made a tiny mistake there, not going for an extra auto on the turret, thinking he already had the kill.
That's close calls all the way around.
He's going to get more
10
chances.
minutes in, there's going to be a lot more for sure.
I mean, that's what we said coming into this series here, how these two teams, because Unicorns, they never slow down. It's always super fast-paced. It's forward all the time, sometimes too fast as well. But it means that you have to fight your way out as well if you're Misfits. You can't just dance around them and only play around objectives. You need to be able to take these fights. And that's why it's going to be this game with so much action.
Yeah, but you also see the pressure he's getting to some of these teams. Like Alphari, in maybe a regular split game, gets a kill on the top. We saw it, but never really mentioned. Hylissang used both summoners in the bottom lane. So he now has less pressure to play with because Misfits have been pushing in and poking him for so long. He got tired of it, tried to play a way out, but Hansama with a great trap survived that. And now they have control of this bottom lane.
Yeah, now I want to see KaKAO with his first Rengar ulti. Top lane, no flash Vizicsacsi. Get that kill, get Alphari back, you know, on CS here. Bot lane tower, obviously, with the push you have from Caitlyn and Lulu, will always be an objective to go for. But it really looks like the easiest kill to pick up is against this Rumble. And they're not looking for it now. KaKAO is just farming his way up. He's level 8, so he's definitely not fallen further behind. Alphari is the one getting the wave top now for his level 9.
We have to praise the Unicorns bot lane here, though. Only down 10 CS and their turrets at around 80% health here in a really brutal matchup. And maybe that's why we don't see the Lulu picked as much either, because teams aren't really utilizing her to her full potential in the laning phase.
Another good thing about Lulu, though, is the fact that if you don't manage to win the lane too hard and do a lot of work there, then your late game is absolutely fantastic.
Team fight composition.
It's beautiful with the shielding, the ulti, obviously the whimsy, the movement speed from it. She adds so much value in the late game. Braum as well, though. That's the thing. But here's another all-in.
Yep, it's Alphari. This time, can he finish the job? He does not have the ignite, and he decides not to use the fish. Xerxe overheats, but he's safe under tower for now, and Alphari gets the clear off one more time.
A lot of pings coming out. Misfits just pinged every single camp that could be up right now in the enemy jungle.
It's here, maybe there, maybe there.
They do not know where Xerxe is, and they're afraid.
Well, Misfits on the bottom side. They have KaKAO here. He's in the lane, so he's ready for a potential counter gank. Or maybe he wants to set up something against Hylissang.
But there is teleport on Alphari and no teleport on Vizicsacsi, and that's why the junglers are so centered around this bottom lane. But both teams know this, and actually make sure that all action disappears.
Yeah, I really feel like KaKAO has missed an opportunity on the top side, but he's been focused on just getting as much farm as possible in this game.
Trying to get himself back in, yeah.
Because that's the thing, again, Unicorns, after they've been able to actually kind of stay even on the bottom side, have been able to get wards near the bottom lane. They've been able to kind of track the jungle here on the bottom side. Top lane, there's a ward at the Raptor, that's good. Everything else has actually been cleared up by Alphari.
Xerxe is roaming to the mid lane here. Oh, he's want to surprise PowerOfEvil here. His old teammate A little visit here. Look above him, above Power.
I mean, he gets a kill before it even begins, and now Chachi has no teammates here. KaKAO wants to go in now. All of a sudden, Hylissang, Xerxe tagging in. Glacial Fissures up. They're looking for PowerOfEvil. Fishes on, doesn't connect. Turn for Hylissang. Alphari getting the kill. Misfits snap the jaws.
Opposite of last game, where Unicorns of Love won every single skirmish in the early game. Now it's Misfits.
Uh-oh. IgNar, that's denied.
Just baiting out some mana here from Samux, but in the mid lane, the 2-0 Orianna, already with the Morel Nomicon, takes that 1v1, wins the 1v1. And suddenly, Chachi and Hylissang showing up to try and help, ended up costing another flash and another kill.
And it's one of these called engages.
No, what happened there?
He's gonna do it again!
Xerxe?
Oh!
Xerxe, that was too greedy.
PowerOfEvil on this Orianna, man, every time. Now down in the bottom side, Samux is caught out, turned into a munchkin. This is gonna be first tower blood for Misfits as they finish off the tower.
And this is something we have seen from the Unicorns in the past, where they make a call so decisive that everybody sticks to it, but something goes wrong in the setup. This Vladimir was supposed to live, draw PowerOfEvil in, and then the Rumble was supposed to surprise. Look, Exileh is just buying time, dodges the ult, he goes up, he just does not underestimates the damage here, does not expect this.
Exactly, could have flashed to the side and avoided all the damage, but it was all supposed to be a bait to set up the Rumble. Completely backfired though for the Unicorns of Love, and PowerOfEvil, he is so fit. This was like the featured matchup coming into this, the two German mid laners against each other. Exileh had a good game 1, PowerOfEvil showing up in game 2.
Yeah, I mean, you had to take a look at how things shaked out. It was a little bit different, but Power on a comfort pick is a whole different type of Power.
Yeah, definitely. He's always been plagued by what people used to call champion pool issues, but he expanded it enough that it's really hard to really limit him right now, and he gets back to the Orianna. I have no clue what's going on because I can't see my minimap. I get panicked, by the way, when I love this graphic, but I always get really afraid because I have no clue what's going on. Okay, there's my minimap. Because we saw KaKAO path to the top lane, potentially going for that Rengar Fizz gank.
He refuses to gank.
He doesn't like it. Alphari did not do the dishes this week, so KaKAO is not ganking.
It's pure revenge. Maybe because Alphari got killed alone in the last game.
Yeah.
Maybe KaKAO said the jungler was top in this game, and then suddenly Alphari died as well. They must hate each other. I think that's what we can read from this.
Yeah.
Obviously, we can be in the minds of the players.
They literally hate each other.
They actually hate each other. That's the kind of the next step of casting.
Yeah.
Reading the minds.
I like that's what you guys have been working on for sure.
I don't think it's
gotta stay busy, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Of course, we gotta improve somehow.
Some time. Nowhere else to go but up.
Game knowledge is irrelevant anymore.
Psychology. It's all about sports psychology.
It is now.
Well, that's an important thing. Hey, we're 15 minutes in, and Unicorns, they're looking to try and come back in. Maybe they use a bit of that. Oh, boy. Hylissang, a little bit of damage there, but Samux tags in. They got the Glacial Fissure, the Wild Growth there. Sama, he's still got a flash, and he might just have to use it. Waiting for KaKAO to blast Cone on over. Turn it on to Xerxe. Blows back with the collateral damage.
There's a teleport above from Vizicsacsi.
Here we go. He's coming in this time. He's got the equalizer. He throws it down. IgNar flashes right on into him. Exhaust is not going to do a thing. Samux claims the kill. Exileh was dead in the midst of all that, though.
Yeah, he died 1v1 again against PowerOfEvil. This mid lane matchup is going so heavily in favor of Misfits. But luckily, Unicorns got to kill bot lane.
Yeah, can we just appreciate how comfortable Sama is playing on stage here? Those stutter steps with the help Pixie did so much damage in that tri-brush. He held his 90 caliber long enough until it was necessary. He held his flash as well next to the wall because he knew his jungler was close, and then he walks mid lane for the rotation. I think he played that very well, and even though the teleport was used, trading a TP for a support def is acceptable, especially if you can then rotate mid. Just look at him. Side steps, like he front steps a Braum Q, which is really bold to do. Then he holds his E long enough, doesn't really get punished. There's not another Braum Q. Doesn't have to flash here. Keeps stutter stepping, and then KaKAO comes in.
KaKAO jumping in, didn't get to use ulti, and good TP reaction here from Vizicsacsi. No teleport on the side of Alphari. Misfits gets punished for being a little bit greedy with their trade. But then obviously, PowerOfEvil killing Exileh again in the mid lane. Get a replay of that one here. Exileh will flash up, just like last time, where he didn't get to use it.
And he goes back.
Bye-bye.
Oh,
hello.
that's a big sombrero.
So he didn't expect the range.
Yeah, he did. I did not expect that range.
I still want to point out, this is the second time Exileh dies 1v1, and flash is available.
Yeah, but come on. I mean, I would have not flashed there.
No, but you're not playing on the stage.
But even if you show me that replay, I still wouldn't have flashed the second time, knowing it would have hit anyways. That was
okay.
That was at the very edge. Like his
PowerOfEvil already said
was
4 seconds
overlapping
before this. I got him.
I got
He already called it.
Well,
ich hab ihn.
However you slice it, PowerOfEvil's up 4 kills, and he has 100% kill participation on the start of this game. So this Orianna is not getting any weaker.
It's definitely not getting weaker.
That's not what he's getting. No, that's Sama under pressure again.
I mean, I like the build as well, because when you're already this far ahead, just get more flat magic penetration.
That's the most fun build to play ever in solo queue. Morel and Omicron into double pen is just super satisfying, because if you hit any spell even close, like, you just take half their HP. On any mage, really. Problem is, you can still die.
I mean, you can always die.
Yeah, but if the Braum shows up, blocks the shield, this ball doesn't move anymore.
Ah, you one-shot the Braum. Soon you
great advice.
If you keep giving him kills, he will soon one-shot this Braum.
Right.
Great call casting.
It's 5 levels up mid. You know, he's going to get a death cap as well at some point.
What should Exileh be doing at this point? Because it seems like he's trying to still tango in the mid, but like, he's just going to keep dying.
Flashing ultis is step 1.
Flashing skill shots.
Flashing skill shots.
That is
step 1.
0.5.
Yeah. All right,
so now Misfits have a lot of control on the map, and they're sending KaKAO around. KaKAO didn't really get to use ulti at this game, but his team has been winning around him, which is very good. TP advantage for Alphari as well. They're going to get this free tower, and now it's Unicorns on the back foot, just like Misfits in the first game.
And last game, we saw the Unicorns struggle with a gold lead. Something we have been praising the Misfits organization for is their growth in mid-game closing ability, especially in the middle of the split. Need to see if they still have it, to have what it takes to close against the Unicorns.
They might just. PowerOfEvil was able to clear that wave at the very least in Misfits. I mean, they've completed their outer turret tour of the Summoner's Rift at 20 minutes in, taken 3 to the none that Unicorns have been able to pick back up, and Unicorns have had mixed results when they've been behind.
That's always the thing. When you start losing these outer turrets, not only is it really bad, you're already down in gold, it's so easy to further snowball it, because you now have these really, really easy waves to push deep inside the enemy territory to their tier 2 towers, and it just grants you so much information that you can then use to obviously path either towards top side, bot side, or just keep, you know, towards the middle.
Yeah, definitely towards the middle. Xerxe and Hylissang picking up a Mountain Drake.
Hey, good steal.
Good steal, but it's not really going to help you, right? At least it prevents them from doing Dasher faster.
And also, you know, I mean, if this is like game 1, we're going to have a few Baron baits here and there. But so we want to see that now. We want to see that clean mid to early late game from Misfits, where now they can shove out 3 lanes deep inside Unicorn's territory. You can get control of the river.
That's some dirty macro talk.
Exactly. You can set up your control wards, Mitch, around this Baron here.
Whew.
And then you can get it. I'm going to take my jacket off.
It's getting a little hot in here.
Very hot in here.
All right, well, let me bring it back to micro plays, because the Baron is live, and I think all bets are off as to when we can estimate that starting up on the map. Vision controlled by Misfits, courtesy of the Scuttle Crab.
Look how they're pushing these lanes.
Ooh, those minions, they don't stand a chance. No, this is macro talk, Pyra. You're stuck here.
All right.
Side lane's being pushed in. The best split pusher in the Fizz there. Doesn't matter that he has no flash.
Looks
like face checking.
Yeah, I don't know about that one. He jumps in, unbreakable no more, and KaKAO, he's got a kill.
They turned him into a frog, gave him a little kiss. He was not the prince. He dies.
That's why we like the macro, because it means you gotta blindly face check the river, and often teams, because they're sometimes unfair to the support, they're sending him in first. Be like, you got the side stone, you go check and get the water.
Oh, he's shut down now. Let's see what else they can get off of it. Exileh,
where's your macro now, Deficio?
Yeah, I don't know about this one. He
I believe in the magic.
Aye.
All right, Unicorns, they got the 1 kill.
They got the important kill.
They got the shutdown. I mean, that's big gold influx for Samux.
Yeah, they paused the game a little bit with that 1 kill on PowerOfEvil. And important, of course, that this Lucian get some damage. Samux, he knows that this Fizz will build a lot of armor later on, and he's going to go for the Black Cleaver, so him and Graves can become best friends. Because Graves is also going to build 1.
That completes it for Samux, an extra gold influx he got.
Oh, and it's actually, all joking about macro aside, it's a really important kill there, because it breaks every single part of the setup. Because Misfits, they had a blue trinket in their Baron pit that they had to clear out. They could have just done it again right here. So we need to see how PowerOfEvil ends up dying here.
I mean, he feels confident with the double pen build.
Yeah.
Actually, he didn't feel confident at all. He ran away instantly.
And the Eagle Eye came out of nowhere.
He burned exhaust too on Xerxe, and that's didn't even do anything to him.
It's actually a really good pick-off from the Unicorns. The fact that they hide the Rumble out of sight, and then obviously they know this guy has no flash, so all they need to do is slow him down.
It's funny because Xerxe didn't play Rumble until like the very last week of the UOL LCS, and a lot of people were kind of criticizing him for it because it made the Unicorns pick and pan phase a little bit weird, that it was only Rumble jungle they were using. But then Xerxe picked it up towards the end, and it's showing some very good plays on it. 2 spot-on ultis, or 3 actually, with the one in top lane on the kill with to kill on Alphari. So good ulti so far from Chachi. And as you said here, it killed all these control wards that were being placed. Misfits didn't actually rebuy all of them. And it makes it harder now for them to get that full vision control. And
we are seeing one of the weaknesses of playing a Caitlyn Orianna composition is that Caitlyn in the mid game would love to play in the mid lane. She loves slotting into 1-3-1 composition, but the problem is Orianna on the side lane really isn't great. So Hansama and PowerOfEvil will end up sharing a lot of the farm. Now PowerOfEvil is put on the side lane, but I don't like PowerOfEvil as a player on the side lane much.
Could have caught that quote already.
In the first place, and I definitely do not like him on champions that don't have gap closers. Now IgNar's under pressure.
Yep, he's not the only one. Hansama had to tank a few more shots of calling, and IgNar, his wild growth was forced out as well as his flash. Unicorn showing 4 strong in the mid.
Yeah, this answer is really good from Unicorns, because when they see PowerOfEvil wave clear in the side lane, they go 4-man mid lane. That means they can push in the wave towards the Misfits tower and put some pressure on Misfits and then get access to the river.
Yeah, because he's super slow. He doesn't have any gap closers. He can't make his pathing more efficient by hopping over walls. If that was LeBlanc could go to mid through river. And if she gets into trouble, she dashes out. Orianna cannot. For the exact reason that we saw earlier, she can just get caught. So her pathing always has to be super safe, which means you're very slow on your side lanes.
I mean, the answer for Misfits in their comp is always push mid first. Because when you then push mid first, like Unicorns just did, you can then go towards the top side through the river, push the wave, slow push it, go back towards the mid lane, and then you get these A-ramps here. But it's a slow pushing wave for Misfits on top side, so they're fine defending for now, because it's actually Unicorns who have to go back and catch this wave that's being pinged out near the top lane. And when they do that, they give Misfits the full control around the mid lane, because then they will have the numbers advantage. So they're just kind of trading minion waves at the moment, but it's on Unicorns to react.
Unicorns are trying to push back at the very least right now. With Misfits haven't had the early game set up. As much as they can get back is always going to be helpful, but they have been keeping Misfits under pressure.
Yeah, the Unicorns also have to be careful, because in these fights with the Swifties, a good Hex polymorph from IgNar can shut down Vladimir in fights, because he obviously has it maxed out right now. 3 points in E, and then 5 points in that polymorph / Whimsy, and it's really influential in these team fights.
But you saw right now, Vladimir walked over to kill the wave. Instantly, there are now multiple wards from Misfits near this Baron here, near the mid lane, and now they have the vision control again.
And they get the ward. They don't have to hit it. Nobody hits it. Don't ever hit a ward that's already disabled, because it tells people where you are.
But this is again why it's so important. Push mid first, and then have that slow push.
Oh, he's seen this one before. Hylissang, he can't go anywhere right now. Tries to get the ult off. He just can't sink it. Misfits get one. Can they get more? Exileh being chased down, tanking up the ace in the hole. Now there's a teleport incoming from Chachi.
Just push mid again. Live steal on Hansama and go back into the bait. There are still no wards. There's a boot wicket in the back of Nashor pit. I don't know if it's actually spotted or disabled. It is definitely disabled. So nobody sees anything. Exileh can't see it. Observers.
I think
Baron's in the way. Remove
Baron's in the way.
They're baiting again. They're baiting again.
And I'm pretty sure they don't know that they're in this brush.
KaKAO showed early.
Chachi had burned TP earlier after the fight had already ended.
But, it's just such a beautiful setup from Misfits. Defend mid, slow push top with PowerOfEvil, go back down, defend mid again, wait for that big wave, so Unicorns have to go pick up the wave, get the control around Nashor, and then Hylissang needs to face check without any vision, and he dies again. Keep doing this over and over, and you will eventually get the Baron. And that's the thing Misfits knows. So it's a really clean setup. It's not crazy. Yeah. It's not like 10 kills everywhere. But it's how you're supposed to play the game if you want to play it by the book.
And now they trade the objective vision. So they trade the Nashor vision for a dragon and the bot push. So that's what they're doing right now. The goal for, if you're Misfits right now, you want to slow push the bottom lane, force Vizicsacsi to reveal himself in that lane. You have teleport advantage on Alphari. You want to start from a 4-man group in the mid lane, push out. Top lane is somewhat irrelevant due to the nature of the compositions.
Just as long as it's pushing lane.
Slow pushing lane. If you can get in the slow push, great. That's the goal for Misfits. Now, obviously, Unicorns, they want to stop this, or like they may go for some very rash moves. I could see a world where Unicorns force Nashor to start a fight.
Yeah, because they don't have TP. If they start a Nashor fight, they actually force Alphari to teleport, and then they can even out this global issue here where it's in favor of Misfits at the moment, but they gotta force something then. Can also ulti from there, near the tower, like this.
They want to dive, but there's not enough minions. They can't. The Orianna ball is so strong and stopping. The Unicorns know that they had their backs against the wall. They wanted to dive mid instead, but PowerOfEvil just clears the wave.
Exactly. Unicorns knew they had to force something, but because it probably was so rushed, it became a really bad play in the end, because now Chachi's bot lane,
with no ulti, no teleport.
And this means Misfits will push the mid lane out, and have 5 members available because of Alphari's teleport, and Unicorns needs to surrender the mid lane pressure, which then once again gives Misfits the access to the Baron River.
The dance continues right now. Misfits, that slow push on the bottom, netted half the health. Alphari was able to get that tower down low, and he's got to be careful not to overstay his welcome, though. He does not have that flash available.
Yes, he should definitely back out, because he can also communicate with his support. Misfits should be talking to each other. IgNar needs to base. There's no way they can get decisive vision control around Baron with just 1 ward and not enough control wards. So they actually need to go on a shopping trip right now to store up for the perfect Baron bait.
Well, it's a 1v1 down bottom for the minute. Alphari's about to get his Ignite up.
Alphari can win this one, but he doesn't know where the Graves is. He will see the Graves.
He sees him now, so he's going to go.
He's going in.
There we go. All in right now. Alphari holding on, waiting. There's the fish. No way to dodge from Chachi. He does go golden, though, so he's able to tank right on through it. Turns back around.
And once again, Alphari respecting that Xerxe walks out of vision in the mid lane. He's not going to chase. There's no flash on the Fizz. If he goes all in, and Xerxe shows up, it's Alphari who dies, and it prompts Unicorns then making a play around Baron.
Yeah, for those people wondering, the water in the pit is disabled, so this is perfect for war. Vision toggle for Unicorns could indicate how little they see currently. Yes, complete darkness, the last and final blue trinket is used, but right now they have no knowledge. Are they baiting? Are they in dispatch? We don't know.
And Chachi still no teleport, so in case a fight breaks out for Misfits, they can actually just go to this Baron here.
IgNar revealed. I'm pretty sure IgNar revealed, but they're working on the waves. Misfits are not letting the waves slide by. They're going for mid pressure right now.
Oh, I think that move from Misfits was a little bit greedy towards the top side, losing mid lane control.
Damage onto KaKAO, it's mostly blocked.
Yeah.
Unicorns, they are pushing forward here, but KaKAO's in ult.
KaKAO's last 3 ultis have been complete waste so far. Very defensive when the Misfits were missing a rotation.
And this is where we want to see a little bit more from the Misfits. The fact that they actually didn't manage to use this advantage.
Yeah, if you look at the way the traps are placed, it looks like they want to play on tier 2 top, but that leaves mid open for an aggressive push by the Unicorns.
Are we going to see a Caitlyn flank on the way?
Ooh, looks like PowerOfEvil. He throws one ultimate, but it's a fade away and not far enough. He fades back to base. The short way taken down by the Unicorns gang squad now. Token effort by the rest of Misfits as they get there. A bit too late.
Yeah, and again, Misfits, they do so many things correct, but then in the end, the final step was a big mistake from them, trying to invest something towards that top lane gank. And then they lose mid lane control. They used the ulti from Rengar, and they were actually now behind on the play, and they allowed Unicorns of Love to just group mid and take down PowerOfEvil.
And because they're so afraid of Flash Vladimir and this Rumble ultimate, they never really started the Nasher. Because against other compositions, you can force Nasher to turn and bait, especially if you had the traps perfectly placed in the both entrances. But honestly, they hesitated and they under-prioritized mid lane control.
But at this point now, Misfits push this wave and go back to base. You get a free reset where you're pushing these waves. Don't keep walking around this Baron because you have no wards available.
Now look at it. So PowerOfEvil thinks, okay, it's over. I just cleared the wave. But then he sees Vizicsacsi flank. He did not expect him. Beautiful combo from Xerxe where he animation cancels the ultimate with the E-dash forwards. As long as he gets an auto attack in first, he can do that.
So you can see how Misfits actually, doing this replay, were running around near the Baron and didn't recall yet. They're recalling now. This means Unicorns are already back on the map and they can actually push for this mid tower. Misfits here towards this 30-minute mark.
They're losing tempo.
They're losing a lot of tempo.
They are, but they might get Vizicsacsi. Or is it going to get turned back around again? Alphari has to hop the wall as that Flame Spitter was doing a heaping helping of damage to the Fizz.
Keep in mind, Alphari traded ultis here with him. He's going for another one, though. That's the trade of the ulti.
Let's see what he can do right there. It goes in, Ignite, and Redemption is going to be enough, and Xerxe is tagging in. Alphari has nowhere to go. He used Playful Trickster already, and he's out.
Love that one from Hylissang. Walking towards the bottom lane, knowing a potential second all-in might happen. So he was in range for the Redemption. Xerxe came down as well. Misfits, after having the map advantage, didn't use it and are giving everything over to the Unicorns of Love.
Yeah, that's why we saw that stat earlier. Unicorns going in with another decisive engage here.
Exileh had that big ulti off, and they're going to destroy Hansama with the last pop of the Hemo Plague onto second tier tower. KaKAO waiting in the wings, but all he finds is Hylissang right now, and he's going to turn tail and run. Samux takes a big ball to the side of the head, and he's out. Fortunately, the heal was enough to keep him healthy, and they're walking it.
And they're walking it.
It's fun to see Unicorns, though, when they have to play from behind. How more calm and collective it actually was. They didn't opt into any risky fights. Nope. They knew what they were doing. They were able to defend. They had controlled the bottom side with Chachi moving down to help him as well.
And they were 6-5, I believe. Or was it 5-6? Anyways, they had a good record from when they were behind the 20 minutes, Unicorns. And that's because they really understand what these teams... And they're pushing back at the right moments. Misfits, throughout the split against many different teams, executed his Baron pace flawlessly with the baits, forcing people to face check, kill 2, get Nasher. It was too easy. It almost looked like textbook. But the Unicorns, they have this nasty habit of just changing the textbook.
And that was definitely a big switch around. Hansama did not see that one coming, and they were able to melt through him, wild growth and all. Maybe they didn't quite get the tower in the mid, but this is where Unicorns start to take the lead. They got that big dragon off the back of it, and they have a gold lead.
Yeah, there are a few flashes, key flashes being burned though, and that could give a window where the Unicorns have to be patient and careful now.
It's actually really funny also how the problems for Misfits in this game, or some of the problems a lot of European teams talked about after IEM Katowice. Talk about that after, because Unicorns, they're starting the Baron here.
That's a fast one.
It's their best friend. They've got
2
double
mountains
mountains right now. Let's see if Misfits can get in there in time. And no, I don't think so. Equalizer thrown down, looking for round 2 on this fight, and that's going to be the end of it from the Misfits side. Unicorns get in, get the Baron, get out clean.
Loving it.
Yeah, the last 10 minutes for Unicorns of Love have looked so good, and how they were defending, abusing the mistakes from Misfits, and now getting the Baron, because they snuck some of those Mountain Drakes earlier in the game. And at that point, we were like, they're not really going to use this one because they're so far down. But then with keeping the game so even, they got their chance. They took the Baron, they're now ahead. The team fighting comp is very scary with this Vladimir Rumble.
Yeah, we looked at Alphari so often too, where he was great on side lanes, but he had a difficulty slotting in with the team. And when it came to team objective plays, really having his mark, and I feel like he slowly just disappeared into the void into this game. Like, he was good at the start, he was winning duels, but what has Misfits accomplished with their side lane pressure, with their teleports lately, as opposed to what the Unicorns have been doing with Vizicsacsi?
Not a whole lot, it seems. And also PowerOfEvil hasn't been able to do too much because the Unicorns have been pretty much keying off on him, like 4 or 5 man just diving.
Exactly, and that's just a better understanding of the map from Unicorns. And another great thing about Vizicsacsi, because...
Tell me, Deficio.
I mean, I got a lot of them. I write tons of notes on Vizicsacsi, just like finding ways to praise him. Not only is he really good 1v1, the man also knows how to join the team. He's one of the main shot callers on the Unicorns of Love. And his Rumble, a champion he only picked up lately, has been pretty much on point.
I mean, he's an intelligent gamer. He is the best chess player in the European LCS.
Yeah. Doesn't say a whole lot, but he is.
Yeah.
I mean, Perks is his competition, so...
Yeah.
Hey.
He's also a former Age of Mythology. He was the faker. He was the faker of Age of Mythology. This guy spans multiple different games. Yeah, multiple different. Go guess. Chess, online, Age of Mythology, League of Legends.
Hey, he's pretty good at a lot of them. It would appear Hansama taking a lot of damage from Vizicsacsi is going to open up the opportunity for Unicorns to take something out of the base. That's a quick inhibitor. Those 2 Mountain Drakes, as well as the Baron buff, working out well. KaKAO looking for revenge. Nothing doing.
This Rengar ulti.
No, he gets the cannon. Don't be a hater, Krepo.
I'm just saying, I want to see more Rengar. Hey, put the ball on me, jump in, press Orianna ulti, do something, Fizz flank on the AD carry, and then create space for Hansama.
All right, let's see the replay. IgNar trying to be a good support, playing around vision. But when you all a bit behind, all these big bullies, they will just kill you. There's nothing you can do as a Lulu once you are caught out in the first place. I really think Misfits would love if Unicorns could stop banning Lee Sin and Elise.
Yeah.
Because then KaKAO in the laning phase could actually have so much impact, like we've seen during this split, when a lot of people were putting him as a potential MVP candidate in the first few weeks. He was Lee Sin so often, he was going crazy on, but there probably is a reason Lee Sin and Elise are banned all the games.
Also notice how the Unicorns, they don't really care for split push. These guys, they like balling up very much so, especially in the mid game. It's usually centered around the 2 mid lane brushes. Now in these sieges, they're just 5-man grouping, diving on a single target, diving so deep that when the cavalry arrives, the main squad's already dead for the Misfits.
Yeah, trying to go for those fast fights, and this is the Unicorn style. Talked about why their damage numbers aren't always as high. I think they're going to be a little higher after
Definitely
this game, but it's because they're just ending these fights nice and early. So 37 minutes to control, they've snatched it back. Misfits, they're going to have a hard time to try and come back. We'll see if they can pull it off again. We had a 52-minute opener. Anything's possible.
It is true, everything is possible, but you need now this Caitlyn to hit full late game items, honestly, for Hansama to have enough impact. You can even compare junglers here, like this. Rengar's not going to do a whole lot in a fight, where on the other side, Xerxe, the rookie of the split, is really fed on this Graves. 4 fully completed items at this point, a ton of AD, even some defensive stats. There's Dance for a bit of sustain as well. Like, he's such a monster in these fights here.
Big boy.
Oh yeah.
He's actually a level above his own mid laner.
That's how you know somebody's fed.
Yeah. Exileh didn't tax the Raptors. Gave it to Xerxe. Another group push here. Xerxe's not here. They may need him to teleport on the creep. Also, could buy time. It's really hard to siege into these Caitlyn traps, though. Nobody really wants to take them. That is the problem later on. Because let's not forget, we haven't seen it, but a 3-man Shockwave can just simply win a team fight. And KaKAO can deliver that ball.
It is fun, though, because PowerOfEvil invested so heavily into his snowball build with the Magic Pen. He even went Luden's Echo instead of getting a Void Staff to be like, I need just so much power right now before they get MR. But now it actually hurts him. Because he's lacking the late game items of Death Cap and Void Staff.
But look at this banner. It's actually pretty smart. If you go for a push into an Orianna, you need a banner to siege creep at least.
KaKAO, he tried to make the play here, but his team just wasn't quite there. IgNar being zoned off around the side. Fish is on Chachi. He don't care, though. And Exileh is going on in for the Hemo Plague. Redemptions are flying here. Shockwave pulls in too. Is that enough to turn it around? I don't think so. Vizicsacsi holding the front down. And now it's going to be the Unicorns looking to take out door number 2 on this bottom tier turret. Can they get it? One more shot or 2 maybe.
Yeah, some really good kiting, though, from the Misfits. Most of the missiles from Unicorns have been launched right now, and they need to disengage, but they still get the turret.
Take a break, come back, then fire the missiles.
Feel free to reset. Elder Drake is alive, but that might be an opening for Misfits to actually get a fight if Unicorns started.
Oh boy.
They're on their way.
Blue trinket here. KaKAO's coming in one more time. Hylissang blocking. Doesn't know exactly where he is. He goes in. The steal's not happening this time. And that's a dead kitty cat. Unicorns getting in. Can they get out? Samux is caught. Playful trickster Alphari looking for a kill off the back half of this one. The ball's been placed, but not far forward enough. Alphari still looking for the chase, and Hylissang doing his job with the disengage.
I think PowerOfEvil actually missed W there. He snapped the ball onto the fish, but I don't think the damage connected. That could have been a dead Samux.
Well, the Unicorns of Love looking very good right now. Rushing down his Elder Drake, Hylissang, trying to zone off here in the choke point as well.
Yeah, just stack onto KaKAO. If he gets in, he pops rather quickly.
Let's see, so long range, fish onto Samux. W didn't hit him.
Yeah.
Flashed away from it, Samux stays alive. Everyone disengages, so they got the Elder Drake now. They're ahead already, they can get a Baron in 25 seconds. This should be a done deal for the Unicorns of Love. Now, I know I jinxed it in the last game when I said that, and it became a 53-minute game, but this time around, with Unicorns comp and the advantage they have, looking for just one more team fight.
Yeah, we're already above average, Deficio, and, well, the Baron is coming back in. One more time. Unicorns are able to melt through it real quickly. Let's see if they can do it twice. They are on top of the big purple worm once again, and oh my goodness, that's down to half health. In goes the fish. Unicorns, can they peel back in time? There's the ball, PowerOfEvil. He's looking for another place to use it. Redemption comes in. That's a lot of damage, but they have got the Elder Dragon. Exileh takes out IgNar. Exileh in the middle looking for Hansama here. Does he have it? He does! The double kill! The Shockwave! It pulls him in, but is it too little? Is it too late? A triple kill for Exileh, and down goes Alphari. Unicorns charging for base.
And that was the fight they were looking for with the Elder Drake. Chachi, he wants more.
Oh, he does. He's stopped by the ball, but that's fine. They got base here.
Some great shot calling from the Unicorns. So they start in Asher, they see KaKAO, and they stop. All 5 of them. Nobody is the idiot that keeps hitting the Baron to get it low enough for KaKAO to steal. They leave it at 2.3k, and the Rengar is now at the wrong part of the fight. Orianna ulti gets used after Hansama drops, and this is, again, super forward team fight for the Unicorns.
The all-European roster with so much focus on synergy and communication, it's paying off in these fights here because they're all on the same page.
Oh, they are indeed, and they will be able to take that all the way to the finish, closing out game number 2. A big statement from the Unicorns, and it's match point, baby!
Ooh, and I was hoping, part of me was hoping for Misfits to show their clean macro style around the Asher to be a threat to the Unicorns. But the Unicorns, despite being down, they dismantled that pressure. They forced the errors. They made the plays happen.
Such a different team as well. I think Sheepy and the guys had probably a long chat to them after the first game where they got that big advantage, but were so over-aggressive with it. This game here, as soon as they managed to get back into the game, it was so clean. They never overextended. They knew exactly when to fight with the double mount to Drake as well around Baron. Like, that was such a well-played late game by the Unicorns of Love. And they fully deserve to get back into this game and actually win it because Misfits showed an inability to use that map control they had to actually get the Baron.
They came right back into it, but even coming into the game, it seemed like they were looking cleaner because they fell behind a little bit early, but we weren't taking any unnecessary risks. They weren't forcing too many crazy things until they were able to punish mistakes from Misfits. And it's experience.
Yeah, and they got through that bot lane too. Like, I don't know.
They got through the mid lane where they lost kills.
If we have different names on this bot lane, yeah, but if we have different names on this bot lane, we would be like kind of blaming this Caitlyn Lulu for not.
Krepo Deficio?
If it was Krepo Deficio, they would have still lost. But like, no, but Lulu Caitlyn should smash this Lucian. It should not get to a point where Braum can lose his summoners. That turret doesn't fall. There's no pressure. KaKAO lane gank with traps. Like, you can do so much more here. Even top lane, Deficio was constantly flaming KaKAO for not ganking that top lane. And
I think there was a pretty clear opening with a no-flash rumble against a Fizz up there, but in the end, KaKAO did not find any success in this game at all, and banning out these early junglers really works well for Unicorns.
Yeah, I see that's going to be in the plans again, I would imagine. Unicorns of Love now, they're 1 win away from a spot in the finals. Shox and the guys are ready to tell you more about Game 2.
Thank you very much, Pyra. And well, this breakdown is all about how the Misfits couldn't push their lead, and one big factor of their lead was in the mid lane, a matchup we had hyped and we had anticipated. Caps, PowerOfEvil gets a lot of kills in this early game. Let's maybe break down this one first, because it's quite peculiar.
So at first it's Xerxe invading KaKAO, and it looks like UOL has full control of it, but PowerOfEvil managed to get the kill on Exileh with a really good ball, and he gets the blue buff, which then means he has mana enough to use a shield, and he ends up getting the last ball because of the CDR and mana.
So he goes back to lane, 2-0, he has double buff, he can just do this.
Yes, like when Orianna gets the double buff and two kills in this matchup, that's pretty much nothing Vladimir can do in straight up 1v1, which means that what Misfits should do is that they send people around mid, and they just make sure that they will always have advantage in numbers in mid lane. But what UOL is really good at, or did really well in this game, was that they managed to have the pressure from other lanes, and they managed to translate it into mid lane, where they would have people hover mid lane, which meant PowerOfEvil would have to back out.
Yeah, Unicorns of Love did very well against that, but if you, Caps, who is so aggressive, if you got four kills up against your lane opponent in the first 10 minutes of the game, what do? Do you make your team engage and kill some people?
No, but I will just make my people, my team get set up vision around me and make them play for me. But in this game, it just seemed like the rest of the UOL team always had the first move, and they were always able to hover for PowerOfEvil, so he couldn't punish mid.
And I think it's very interesting. You talk about getting vision around you and playing around normally from the mid lane with that Orianna. Well, unfortunately for PowerOfEvil in this game, he also had a Caitlyn on his team who was sat mid, and both together can't really sit mid effectively. And there's times where Misfits had like a near perfect vision control around the mid lane, but it kept getting shoved back in. And then there's a couple of times PowerOfEvil showed top, and that was every time Unicorns would push back out mid, look for an engage. And there's a key moment after Chachi uses his TP where this mid lane back and forth keeps going between the two teams that maybe Misfits could have exploited.
Yeah, so basically here, this is around like 24 minutes. They forced the TP out of Vizicsacsi, and at this point they actually have TP advantage. So at this point, Misfits has two options in my book. They either try to force the Nash when Fizz gets pressure bottom, or they send Rengar and just tracks the Fizz and ganks the Rumble, because they should know that UOL needs to play around the Nash, because that's the objective that is like in danger when you don't have a TP. So, but they kind of just fail to do anything. So, like to do anything in the game, they basically just try to do Nash, but they don't force it, and they don't go bot with Rengar either. I feel like Misfits are kind of not utilizing Rengar at all. Like they just. Rengar is so difficult to play around, especially when you have a Fish on the team that can just set up the ganks on the sidelines very easily, but they just seem to not do anything.
No, and also a couple of times the ultimate from KaKAO just didn't do anything, kind of just threatening but not netting them a real objective. And meanwhile, you look at the side of the Unicorns of Love, you see Vizicsacsi is not in danger of getting killed anymore by that Fizz, or they make sure that Xerxe is there. Vladimir is ramping up and getting very dangerous. And Caps, you said, well, I'm not a particular fan of the pick specifically, but Exileh is, and he does play it very well in the late game fights. We're going to take a look at the final fight where he nets himself a good amount of kills as well around the Baron.
So I think this is why Exileh is a big fan, and Unicorns are a big fan of the Vladimir, because they're really good at finding these fights, and they're really good at just hard committing to it, and that's kind of what Vladimir is also really good at. And in this fight, it's just Exileh popping off, and he just gets the like 4 or 5 E's on key targets, and he managed to pick up 3 kills and to secure the win.
You're saying that because of their style, that late game and mid game, they're willing to commit super hard for objectives where other teams might not want to, is why Vladimir is a good pick for them.
Yeah, I mean, it's also like there's a lot of exploits, and it's particularly the early game with Vladimir, where there's a lot of counter matchups to him. And as we saw in this early game, the Vladimir was barely able to lane, you know. But because UOL was able to get him through a laning phase, and they made the comeback, he was just like obnoxious to play against because he was so strong.
I feel like as we head towards a potentially all-important Game 3 that will put Unicorns into the finals, one thing I want to see more of out of Misfits, their bot lane. Like, they've been nearly non-existent this game. IgNar's had some good plays, but when you look at what they've done well in previous games, previous series, like, I want to see them get a lead, abuse it, move forward with the rest of the team, because with that Caitlyn, Orianna, and Lulu, like, they didn't do anything. I
mean, if we look over the span of the 2 games, Game 1, Unicorns of Love get a huge lead, Misfits fight back, but can't find the win. Game 2, they get a huge lead earlier, they get a very big lead early, and they can't close it out. What's going to happen here?
I mean, let's be honest, like, we were talking about a rookie team, and they're down 0-2, there should be no way they come back, so... I mean, this set should already be over, right? So
should be already over, like last week, much like it, but not really. So Misfits definitely still have a chance. Unicorns of Love and Misfits are going to the finals in Hamburg next week, be it in the final or in the 3rd place match. And if you want to catch them there, check out eu.lolesports.com for more information on how you can get tickets.
Not only that, remember everybody, we're going to have a 30-minute pre-game show before the finals start on Sunday. That's going to start at 4:30 Central European Summer Time. Make sure you tune in for that. Lots of analysis.
Lots of analysis, lots of talk, and lots of shenanigans. But first, we need to see if the Unicorns of Love can secure a spot there. Game 3 is right around the corner. Don't go anywhere.
But what someone do they have? What someone to space? I have no place, no place.
Nice! I can see that shirt. Evil here, his old teammate. Little visit here, look above him, above power.
I mean, he gets a kill before it even begins.
Oh my god. Rengar is mid, Rengar is mid.
Caitlyn flank on the way.
Looks like PowerOfEvil, he throws one ultimate, but it's a fadeaway and not far enough. He fades back to base.
Oh. Base Rumble Flash.
Exileh takes out IgNar. Exileh in the middle looking for Hansama here. Does he have it? He does! The double kill! The shockwave! It pulls him in! But is it too little? Is it too late? A triple kill for Exileh! They will be able to take that all the way to the finish, closing out game number 2. A big statement from the Unicorns, and it's match point, baby!